Hello and welcome to the Chris Mallard Show. Hey, guess what? It's like the day after the Georgia election. We won. We won. Georgia won. It looks like we won. We won most of the one. We know we won for one. We know we won for the other. But you know what? They're going to contest it. You know why? Because they'll contest everything. They're gonna go full blown Trump mad baby on this thing and contest it. I have prophesied, and we'll talk about it right after this with Andy.
I gotta do something for this ad for the Laughing and Disbelief YouTube channel. Color. Well, I like color. Color's pretty cool. Everyone's doing color. Color is stupid. I can't do color. I gotta change it. No. Too much change. Bad change. Too different. Monkeys? I like monkeys. Check out the Laughing and Disbelief YouTube channel.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Andy. How are you doing today?
Surprisingly well.
Good.
Surprisingly well.
Considering
I don't know what to do with these feelings of positivity, Chris.
Don't know what to do. Me either. I went to bed. I was telling you before the show, I went to bed and we were behind. I say we, I mean our people in Georgia. Woke up this morning and one of them had already been called. The other one for us, and the other one was on the verge of being called. That's where it still stands, is on the verge of being called for us. Looks like a great day for Georgia.
Yeah, it's not a good day for Mitch McConnell.
Not a good day. He is sad face.
Not a good day.
You know what? He can go ahead and die now. Did I say that out loud?
I think you said it out loud.
We're going to have to trim that out of the show later. Yeah. You know what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. If anybody cared, we wouldn't be ending the show. Nobody cares. Go ahead.
I'm sure, like you went to bed last night thinking, Democrats blew it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
I was afraid.
And we did talk about this yesterday. In the polls, 538 had both of the Democratic candidates up a little bit. It was within the margin of error. So I just thought that meant that the Republicans are going to win, to tell you the truth. Right. However, I wake up this morning, and like many of us, Warnock is officially, it's been called for him amongst the legitimate media sites. I'm looking at 538 right now with 51% of the vote. And then with Ossoff, ahead too. And Ossoff declares, basically says, hey, guess what? I won at 8 o'clock this morning. So, yeah. I mean, what a nice thing to wake up to.
Absolutely. I'm stoked. It just blew me away when I saw it. I was like, hell yeah. Well, you know what that means now. And correct me if I'm wrong, Andy. I am not a constitutional scholar. Is that the word you used the other day? I think that's what you said the other day.
I believe those are the words.
Those are the words. But my understanding is that now, assuming I can remember what I'm talking about through the end of the sentence, is that now we have a balance in the Senate, and the new Mitch McConnell is Kamala Harris.
Well, she isn't going to be the leader of the Senate. She'll be the tie-breaking vote.
Essentially, yes.
She'll be the tie-breaking vote. And if good morning, Blazing Wizard Pope from my chat. Yes, so Kamala Harris will be a vote in case she needs to. Who is it? Chuck Schumer? Chuck Schumer will be the leader of the Senate for all intents and purposes, deposing Mitch McConnell. So, if everything works out, which it looks like as time goes by, it's going to work out for Democrats.
I am as giddy as a schoolgirl. I mean, schoolgirls get giddy? Anyway, if they do, that's how giddy I am right now.
Right. And I'm not even going to crap on the parade either, because I'm always the one to crap on parades, because that's just what I do. But I'm like, I think this is worthy of a victory lap. That's what this is.
I think it is. It's like, I hate to say it. Remember the Schadenfreude I had after Trump got the cooties?
Sure.
That's kind of how I feel now. I got some Schadenfreude, and it's like in there in my brain, and it tingles. Sometimes you'll hear me go, I'll be talking about somebody doing something stupid. I'll be like, oh, it hurts right here. But in this case, I'm like, oh, it's tingling. There's a tingle. My nerdy sense is tingling.
Yep.
I'm just excited for our lefties in Georgia.
True enough. And, it isn't just the fact that Warnock won, and it was, and it's already been called for all intents and purposes, is that he won against that crazy and cultish QAnon lunatic. What's her name? Loeffler. The idea that she doesn't have the seat is almost as good as the fact that he won the seat.
Yes. Yeah. And, not only though, like I predicted yesterday, they're going to be contesting and fighting it, but I think there's probably two plans going. One is we're going to fight this tooth and nail and do everything we can to get this, to overturn this election and get this. And the second one is to go for the next election.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be whipping up their base already for that next election. And,
I just want to say this.
Okay.
Is the fact that we have the candidates, of course, to thank for, running the campaigns the way they did. But really, it's Stacey Abrams who engineered the infrastructure of getting out the vote. It is really Stacey Abrams that helped turn, Georgia blue during the presidential elections and help these two Democrats win their seats. I'm not one to make idols, being a Second Commandment atheist, but if I were going to make a monument, it would be the Stacey Abrams. Maybe a temporary monument for a day or two, put some wreaths around her neck, and then, of course, I'd have to burn it into ashes the day after. But for right now, yes, Stacey Abrams, job well done. And that's the problem. And this just proves how important it is to make institutional structures, to create these systems that work. And Stacey Abrams, once again, getting out the vote. Christ. She ran the board. Presidential elections, 2 blue senators, assuming that our friend Ossoff actually becomes senator, which it looks like more and more. Mm-hmm. But Stacey Abrams, she is the real kingmaker there in Georgia.
And, I want to see her star continue to rise. Really, we need that kind of mindset. Her, AOC, those other people who are the new modern progressives, I really enjoy the fact that they're doing so well. And I feel she was robbed by Kemp. See, that was one of the things that I thought was kind of a big sign. She was robbed by Kemp in Georgia. And, because he's, why? Because he's a corrupt bastard. He's a hypocrite. He's a liar. He's corrupt. All those things. And yet, when the king of corruption, the king of liars called him and said, listen, I need you to do this really corrupt thing. It was so corrupt and so open that even corrupt, pathetic, hypocrite, liar Kemp wouldn't do it.
I don't know if you threw enough adjectives in that sentence.
But it felt good. It felt good.
Yeah, I feel good too. Like I said, I'm having difficulty with these positive emotions this morning.
Difficulties. Yeah, right. Well, you were saying before the show you'd already been in a couple of conversations about the election, right?
Yeah, I actually got a decent night's sleep. I woke up at 8:00 in the morning. I got onto Facebook Messenger and just started. A couple of people sent me some messages remarking on the news, the positive news. And it's went to bed last night, thought Mitch McConnell was still going to be in power, thought that both of our people in Georgia lost, but Calais, apparently not.
Hakuna Matata, right?
Hakuna Matata. Especially since they were like, I don't know. Okay. So let's talk about Schadenfreude. Okay. All right, some Schadenfreude here. Okay, so not only did I wake up to both Democratic senators, candidates, pretty much winning, but I also got to see Trump supporters getting tear gassed by police in Black Lives Matter Square.
It's like sauce for the goose.
It's like, what? It's like, the cops are just like, and that's how, that's how bad these Trump supporters are. How bad
Yeah.
do white people have to be for the cops to tear gas them? How
Yeah.
bad do they have to be?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bad. That's how bad Trump supporters are when the police feel like they have to tear gas them in the streets.
That's yes. And I need to go back. I was so busy doing my own thing that I hadn't had the opportunity to watch that, and I want to need to go watch that.
Oh,
It
it's
just sounds like
beautiful.
it's like yeah.
It's beautiful. That's what it is. And we'll be seeing more of it today. We'll be seeing more of it today.
That's right. Today, well, I don't know what today. My plans, Andy, are to work on possibly rebuilding some kind of show like this, technically, to kind of give me some technical work, because you know how I like to fight tech gremlins. But
You
also,
do.
I'm going to have a stream up that's going to have live, at least a couple of panels up, watching what's going on in Washington D.C. today,
Oh wow!
because
That's good.
today's going to be a very interesting day in Washington D.C. Am I right? Or am I right?
Yeah,
Am I right?
I mean, there'll be no doubt some drama with the
Yep.
senators contesting with our friend Ted Cruz the certification of the vote. What's interesting is that, as many of you probably already know, when the electoral votes get contested, the senators and the reps will break off into different private rooms where they get to discuss the matter for like 2 hours, I believe. What I'm curious about, whether or not we're going to see any cell phone video footage of people just taking pics, taking videos of Republicans acting like lunatics. I think if that happens, that would be some really, really spicy special sauce there.
Yeah. Well, again, that's true. So many panels. It's going to be a very interesting day. And I actually I've been dropping shorts as per Andy, and some of those things that we've got going on are just. I made a short yesterday. I may run it here in a little bit. It's about my prediction, what was going to happen. So far, I'm right. Have been right in that. Like I'm some kind of prognosticator, right? I looked in my coffee mug at the little stain at the bottom, and it told me that the Dems were going to win in the election. And then I later on had a stool, and I looked at the stool, and it told me that the conservatives were going to contest every loss. And I made a video yesterday. I kind of left out the tea and the stool part. But I made a video predicting yesterday that the Dems would win, and no matter what, whether they won by a lot, won by a little, didn't matter how they won, the conservatives were going to just go flouncing, mad baby, just like Trump.
Yeah.
And, so far I've been right. I like being right. Yeah.
So the lone wanderer's bunker here on my chat is asking whether or not you're actually, because you have these screens you're talking about, are you actually going to be streaming the results or the drama that's going on as it unfolds in Washington D.C., or how are you playing that out, Chris? Or are you just doing the show today and then dropping shorts? What's your game plan? I know this is a lot of higher cognitive functioning questions I'm asking you right now.
Andy, I think I just had a stroke of genius, and we should
be careful, because if you have a stroke, you might be thinking that you have a stroke of genius too. There might be some overlap.
Right. Anyway, yeah. So that's a good idea to go ahead, and I what I meant was I was going to be working on other things and be absorbing what was going on, but it's probably not a bad. Well, also I've been getting me some TikTok love, and basically if I stream, I was thinking about streaming for those of you who care during the thing that's going to come up, I believe at 11 o'clock my time, 1 p.m. Eastern. I was going to be streaming part of that on TikTok as well.
Well, also, if you're streaming it, you should stream it on both of our channel. I mean on the YouTube channels too. I mean, so people can pop in if they want to make their Schadenfreude comments, and have a good time. I could easily pop in, because I'm not doing it. I have a show today. I have a show today at 11 a.m. with Thomas Beer, Best Advice Ever. Yes, that was a plug for my show. But yeah, I could easily just show up and make clever comments and chat with people. about what's going on with the Schadenfreude.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. We could watch. See, what time you think we maybe ought to start?
Well, you said 1 o'clock. I mean,
It starts,
1 o'clock
yeah.
my time. Is that correct?
I think that's whenever it starts. That's whenever. Yes,
All right. We'll just say, I'll be back here, here,
12,
here,
12:30. I'll build a show for it.
Yeah, build a show for it, and yeah, that'd be cool, man.
Okay, well then what we'll do is maybe like it's 12:30, 12:30, 12:40, 12:45. We'll start our stream, do a little prep, get everything up on the screens.
Okay, so 12:45, we're going to be doing a little Schadenfreude party here.
Perfect, awesome.
And there'll be a lot of downtime, no doubt. But I'll be here. You can to chat with people. Of course, there's always the chat that y'all can be talking with each other in, and it'll be a nice communal bathing of the redemptive power of democracy. How's that for positivity? The redemptive power of democracy. Oh, I'm gonna gag on my own happiness.
Yeah. Well, I think it was Keith Olbermann. I heard on one of his little videos, he made the point that had we lost the Congress last election, had the conservatives gained control in Congress, we would be living in a fascist state now. They would have overthrown our government. That's how close we were to losing everything. They would have had the power to do this.
I was reading through, and I forget what it was, whether it was The Economist or Bloomberg News, one of those, think pieces. And it turns out that, as I have said before, as we've talked about, it takes a while for a would-be dictator to become a dictator. It takes a while to digest and to undermine democratic institutions. President Erdogan over in Turkey, 2 terms to really, gain the kind of power that he has now. So we could have expected if Trump had won the last election, in November, then we would be firmly banana republic, firmly something like Venezuela, something like Russia, after his second term. So we got off, we were lucky. And I just want to point that out, lucky.
Dodgeable. We have these checks and balances that are supposed to protect our institution, and you know what? There was a lot of corruption and everything, and somehow our democracy managed to survive. Now, just like after the Civil War, they were like, whoa, wait a second, things are we need to fix some stuff. So they wrote some laws and changed some things so traitors could never do certain things in there. So we need to do that again. I'm thinking, when this, essentially, unless I'm wrong, this means we've got the presidency, the House, and the Senate for 2 years.
Right. And right, for 2 years. And so once again, Joe Biden's job, the Democrats' job, is to increase the Democratic Party. And of course, help us out here, right, the everyday people. But, I'm going to keep drumming the beat, banging my drums about, you got to stack the Senate. You got to get D.C. statehood and Puerto Rican statehood if they still want it. Puerto Rico did vote for statehood in a non-binding vote back in November. So that would be 4 blue senators right there, ending gerrymandering, doing all of those things. And people, the way how they ended, put a bipartisan, nonpartisan commission in Virginia to redistrict is by local citizens organizing and getting that ballot question. That's how they did it. And so that means that's a job for all of us to be involved in.
Yep. And that's kind of the future of what we got. I'm very excited about all the things that we've won. We won the presidency. I was a naysayer. I was actually thinking the election was hacked by Russia. And there was nothing that Joe Biden could do because blah, 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 blah. But people turned out in so much force that we won. And now here we've taken the Senate too. I'm going to have just like a liberal-gasm right here in front of God and everybody.
I'm not even going to mention filibusters. See, I just did that because I cannot, even in my best mood, there is a yin to my yang. There's a yang to my yin. So yeah, it's good to take the victory lap. it's good to be aware that the work is still needing to be done.
Yes.
Because there are filibusters, and we know that Republicans love to filibuster. We know that there are oligarchs looking to destroy the country in terms of our democratic institutions. We know that 20% of our population, of the voting population, are freaking nuts.
Yes.
So that's, so we, and you only need 20% to run a coup, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to change hearts and minds, and we have to strengthen our democratic institutions.
Yeah, and we've also got to take care of Fox News and the propaganda machine. We've got to do some kind of limit on what they can do. First Amendment, indeed, First Amendment, but we really need to do something to protect our country from this. Part of the reason why they got as far as they did is because of Fox News. If we don't punish them, if we don't punish Trump, and they all get away with it, and we don't stop Fox News, this will happen next election, and it will be over. We're done if we don't stop them now.
Once again, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Fox News, because they have Newsmax and OAN, and they're, Fox News is losing its base. Trump's base is going to those even crazier news sources. So,
well, I don't mean necessarily just Fox News per se, not like we'd make a law just against Fox News. It would be against all those things like Fox News. So indeed, you are correct.
James Henry in the chat makes two very good comments, at least here in my chat. The biggest loser in the election is Vladimir Putin. Point. And Fox News is banned within the European Union. Best thing, maybe the best policy of the EU is keeping Fox News out of there. Yeah. It's
really. When did that happen? I didn't know that was a thing.
No, that's not. Well,
has it always been a thing? I didn't know that was a thing. I'm excited that that's a thing. I wish we could make that a thing here. I heard that was a thing in Canada, but then I also heard that was not a thing in Canada. Anyway, but we need to address Fox News, OAN, all of those conservative lie machines that just crank out all these things. It hurt our nation. We almost literally lost our democracy because of these things. Am I wrong? Am I being hyperbolic about it?
You are not being hyperbolic. You're not even being bollock about it, Chris. You are being spot on. That's what you are.
See? I'm balling, bitches. I think that's what Andy said. So I'm excited. Now we've got all these things. And you're right, there's filibusters and those sort of things. And a filibuster, I understand that there's more to it and that they have those kind of powers. We had those kind of powers and didn't do anything. Didn't help us at all. They just ramshot our country.
And I've been thinking about this. The reason why Democrats, and it's going to sound crazy, but the reason why Democrats don't filibuster is because they don't want to destroy the country. Let me say that again. The reason why Democrats don't filibuster as much as the Republicans is because they don't want to destroy the federal government. Republicans want to destroy the federal government. They've been doing it since the 80s. Their goal is to dismantle the federal government as much as humanly possible. That's why they do all these tax cuts. That's why Republicans are fiscally irresponsible, is because they want to starve the beast. They want to make sure that the federal government doesn't have enough money, and they want to so when the federal government doesn't have any money, or when the federal government isn't empowered, that means oligarchs can run rampant, right? Their businesses don't have to worry about regulations. Churches don't have to worry about regulations or any curbs on their power. That's why Republicans filibuster when they're in the minority, is because their goal is the same, though their tools are different. It is to destroy the federal government, states' rights, whatever, and to push their own agenda. They only want to use the federal government when it's okay to, push their own Christian theocracy, or for tax cuts.
Yeah. And everything you say is true. They've done everything they could, especially Trump. When Trump came into office, they took that effort to undermine every office, every bureau of our government instantly. As soon as he got into office, he started putting people in who were against, these, like Ted Cruz, putting him in the Department of Energy, Betsy DeVos, putting her in the Department of Education. oh my goodness, you could not have put a worse person in charge of the Department of Education from the conservative side. That's probably a genius idea.
Okay.
Somebody who's got money and wants to destroy it.
Yeah. Well, they hate the Department of Education. I mean, the Department of Education, has not always been with us. It's been within our lifetimes, Chris. At least our, both of our lifetimes, being men of a certain age. And remember, Republicans have run on, at least presidential candidates have run on the idea of dismantling it all together. So now they have somewhat accepted the fact that the Department of Education exists. So they're just going to drive it into the ground. That's the whole game plan for them.
Absolutely. Yep. And what they get out of that is an uneducated populace who's willing to buy all the crap that they put out. We got to play, and a solid third or 40% of our population doesn't believe in the science.
Well, you have all these,
the conservatives.
Once again, I want to remind our secular, our progressive brothers and sisters out there that when you have a country where you have a lot of people not believing in evolution,
that's true too.
When you have so many people who don't understand what a scientific theory is it really that far of a stretch that they don't understand what fascism is? Is it really that far of a stretch for them to believe that there are rape tunnels under Hillary Clinton's house?
Right.
It's a sea of stupidity, and that sea just like surges. There's like these storms.
Sea of stupidity. I like that. A sea of stupidity. That's good. I may steal that one. Put it on a shirt.
Go ahead. I just throw these ideas out there in the ether.
Let every just. You're generous. You're kind. That's wonderful. Yeah. So. Actually, I'm going to make another shirt. I made a shirt. I don't know if y'all have seen it. It's called Level of Treason. I'll show it later.
I saw that on Facebook today. That was pretty good.
So I'm going to do another one that's going to be called Levels of Stupid. And it's going to be like not stupid. I don't know what's going to be about not stupid. The medium stupid, then kind of a lot of stupid, then mega stupid, then mega stupid.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I did that all by myself, alone and scared. Yeah. And also, I got that new one. You can see it out of here on this right. It's called Straight Out of Fucks to Give. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll put links below if y'all are into that sort of thing.
Oh, that's good. I actually made something new last night, a new design. It's the lettering to it says, I took the road less stupid. Yeah. I hear you. Well, I like to think that I took the road less stupid, but I don't know.
Well, according to I used to think that stupidity was not a subjective topic, but it is. We are stupid. You know who we're stupid. Andy, you're stupid. That's a stupid question. I'm stupid according to all those on the right.
Well, I was just joking around. I was on Critical Cripple's show yesterday, the Infinite Question show, which was fun. And they were telling me that there are no wrong answers. And it's like, well, that sounds like a challenge. You say that there are no stupid questions. That's a challenge too.
Right. Yeah, true enough. David Paul says, I once told a bumper trumper I was hoping you'd be a beacon of light is a sea of shit. Sorry, I didn't read that right.
You didn't read that right, Chris.
I did not. Anyway, I'm going to...
This is what makes us work, right? This is what makes the show so interesting.
Focus, Chris. Focus. Yeah, so you know what? I've got a lot of work to do today. We're going to run this show. I think we've agreed. We're going to run a show. It's going to start at 10:45 a.m. my time. I'm going to rebuild this show.
12:45 Eastern time.
Yes, 12:45 Eastern. Yeah, thank you, Andy, for that. I forget there's other time people. Anyway, I'm going to start that. So I'm going to do that, get us ready. So I'm going to end this show earlier because I'm going to rebuild the show. I'm going to rebuild the show, and then I'm going to start heavily promoting it in this new fancy technique that Critical Cripple sent me. I'm going to see if I can actually scare up some views.
It's so awesome. This is the first time I was actually on the show with Dave, I believe, yesterday, and Critical Cripple, and had a lot of fun. Dave
he's cool. He's smarter than he looks. Trust me. He'd almost have to be. Wait, this is not helping. Love you, Dave. right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I'm gonna try to build the show as quickly as I can, and the reason why I'm gonna do that is so the next show for today's thing, so I can drop the links and get ready. So if you guys want to join us, come back. Probably it's going to be a 12:45 Eastern is where we're going to start. That way we can get a little prep time in before the thing, and then we're going to have up on a couple of panels here on the screen while we talk about it. We're going to have everything, CNN or Rachel or whomever. I don't know who we're going to have. We're going to have some stuff, and we're going to watch this live as it goes down. We'll see. I think we can get a live stream, can't we?
We're gonna
fun
have
stuff.
Fun. Yeah, of course, I'm running a show at 11 a.m. today. Best advice ever with off the chain atheist Thomas Beer. If anyone wants to show up, that would be wonderful.
Yes, that's a great show. All right, guys, I'm off to save the world. I got a lot of work to do. Thank you, Andy. Again, thank you to everybody watching in the chat. All you wonderful people. I hope you have a great day. Listen, check us out. Watch the Chris Mallard show. They're on YouTube, and watch out for the link to drop. And we're going to cover today's craziness whenever the conservatives do their last gasp, desperate effort to overturn the election. After this, I predict will become where Trump starts trying to do everything he can to militarily overturn the election. That's what we face in the next few weeks.
Indeed.
If I were a thinking man. All right. See you guys in a bit.
I got to do something for this ad for the Laughing and Disbelief YouTube channel. Color. Well, I like color. Color's pretty cool. Everyone's doing color. Color is stupid. I can't do color. I gotta change it. No. Too much change. Bad change. Too different. Monkeys? I like monkeys. Check out the Laughing and Disbelief YouTube channel.
Thank you for watching the show. A special shout out to my gold level Patreon supporters, Cindy Plaza and Ian Davenport. Thank you and have a great day.